For an individual who is into digital marketing or is growing, I think there is a pool of learning. You have so many sections into digital. Like I am still exploring being into the system for 9 years
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this Heroes of Sokrati. And we have with us Divya, one of the key pillar of our leadership team. And this conversation is going to be about Divya's experience at Sokrati, how it is been and journey for her. So, friends, welcome to this series Heroes of Sokrati, where you have been able to understand, get enlightened with the various folks over here. Divya, welcome to this series and thanks for your time. What we want our folks to know is that what has been your life and journey at Sokrati?
now. Thank you, Manoj, for this opportunity. I mean, calling a Heroes of Socrates has always been a privilege. And yes, being in the longest in Socrates is a privilege because I joined Socrates when I was into my internship, not just it was my first job, but my first internship as well. And until then, it's been like a journey, and I'm still learning. And that's, it's been almost like 9 years where I've been in Socrates, and that means 9 years of my career is
Right.
devoted to Socrates. I've been always inspired by the leaders, obviously. Why? Because they've always been very open and vocal about obviously the feedback and the kind of growth they are looking forward to for the company and plus for the people. I think that's where my journey lies. I have looked upon to my leaders in a way that I could grow and learn more and more. And a lot of people have always asked me, why so many years in Socrates? I think the most important answer is, and the key messaging that I would like to pass over here is that uh, I've always got an opportunity whenever I felt that I need something new to try. Socrates has given me that opportunity. These 9 years have been like starting from scratch. I was an account manager. In fact, I was into an internship where I was doing a lot of more of execution.
Sure.
Growing from there to becoming someone in the leadership team is a it's like it had been a quite a big journey in terms of evolving myself as a person. So I was like generally a college student at that point of time. Now
Sure.
I'm like more of a leader here because of how my journey has and major part, in fact most of the part is because of Socrates. My career evolved in Socrates. I evolved as a person in Socrates.
Right.
Apart from this, the kind of learning I got from the people I interacted with. You get to learn with some great experienced people and with very new, fresh mind. And that combination is actually very helpful because the fresh mind actually urges you to learn more, and experienced people are like your role model. You want to become like them and speak like them and react like them when there is a situation.
Fantastic. Great. I think, friends, what Divya has shared, it's something very interesting for all of us, and especially for those interns who are watching. You can have a real example in front of you that what a journey it is from intern to one of the heroes or the pillar or a leader of the organization. Not too many places you get such an opportunity. It's very few places where such growth is encouraged, nurtured, and supported. So it's really appreciable, Divya, in terms of what you expressed. Good. With that, Divya, now I want you to direct us in terms of this last 1 year, which has been a very interesting scenario. Like the conversation we are having is a remote conversation. How do you think was the last 1 year? And what is your message or learning from this last 1 year's remote working and work from home? So we would like your perspective about it.
So I think it was an interesting learning for me on a personal level. Why? Because in my entire career, I might have taken only two or three, four work from home. Why? Because I never wanted to stay alone, work. I always liked interacting with people and then working. I had people surrounded, and
Sure.
that was the way I was running myself. I never used to take work from homes also. If I had to take a leave. Otherwise, no work from home for me. That was the whole process that I was following. This 1 year became like a learning curve for me, because I not that I worked from home for an entire year, but it actually gave me a one level up where you need to be a little more patient, because the communication gaps are on a higher side. You have to
Yes.
interact more than doing work. You are actually talking, because there's too much of video calls or normal calls just to talk about a very simple thing which could have happened between just a second of conversation in person.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that way it was very challenging. First month was actually very challenging. Reason being that we were very new to this whole process,
Yes.
and it was difficult because I was more. My role is, because I was in I'm into solutioning. My role is to talk to people, like.
Correct.
Speak to operations team, speak to sales owner, and then combine an effort and pitch it to the client. So it
Sure.
was more like a conversation story, which could have been easier when it was an in person. But in a video conferencing or in a conference call, it was kind of a little frustrating in the first instance. And I'm
Yes.
being very candid about it,
Yes.
because I was also very new. Being in the system for 9 years, 8 years, I was never prepared for such kind of a condition. And it was, I think, everybody, I think even like CEOs of any big brands
True.
also,
True.
they would have learned this whole process, right? And that's where you learn patience,
Yes.
and that you how you channelize that patience into your work is something I learned.
True.
And
True.
secondly, try and have like more like be more patient towards other perspective also, because when you are in person you can understand that they are loaded with work or not loaded with work. But when they are in remote areas, it becomes very difficult to understand that how much loaded they are. So you need to be a little more patient to understand and maybe build that connect online. And that's what actually happened, that these two important aspects really played a important role in like how I processed my remote working from home. And that should like that's something I think everybody did.
Yes.
But the most like but we did, I think that's the most
Correct.
important factor. We all did it and we did it quite well. I think value is very important, and I feel lucky to be in Sokrati, because there were days I heard news in other corporate world how things were happening, how revenue has impacted, how that impact has actually laid off a lot of people.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
was a very negative thing to hear. I was also a little nervous. I spoke to my manager. I think the best thing is to speak to people and
Yes.
speak to right people actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You
I
said it.
immediately went to. I had this notion: what is happening? Is something going to happen to us also? I immediately went and spoke to my manager, and my manager was so kind enough to actually detail out every aspect, that how things are happening. Nothing to worry. It's just that we need to ensure that we are on track. We need to get more business, because I was a part of that. I'm a part of that department where we have to bring more business to retain it. So yes, we all together went into the role that yes, we have to focus on bringing more business, and not just because we wanted to increase the revenue of the company, but it was for the people. Because what we hear from outside the world and inside, like how layoffs are happening because they are not able to achieve the revenue. If we are the prime owner to get that, let's work towards it, because it's something, it's a responsibility more than our work. So yes, that's the remote working experience I have.
Yes, I think you really have brought the whole, you can see the visual in front of the eyes of everybody who is watching, that
Yeah.
what it was to survive this pandemic. What you rightly said is we survived, and we not only survived, we did it good. We have made our customers happy. We ourselves are happy doing what we are doing. Yes, it has been a struggle. And the best thing what I liked is which you brought about is being humble. Yes, I think this whole environment has not only brought that human element of being human, but at the same time try to empathize with individuals. It has leveraged the power of conversation. Probably we didn't require to that extent because that direct human interface was always available. But I think the power of conversation is only going to be taken a higher level. Great. I think Divya, with that, the next what I'm going to pick your brains is on this whole digital environment, the digital economy or ecosystem has bloomed in last 1 year. Okay, what do you think the new folks who come on board should be prepared, should get equipped, so that they also are able to contribute and succeed in Sokrati?
I think what I have learned in this 1 year is that a lot of new brands, new very traditional market, very traditional brand are coming on board, and they want to do digital. They want to go into full on digital mode, and
Sure.
the reason is very clear because the physical proximity is now a challenge. So I think the key message that I really want to pass is about don't stop learning because digital is so dynamic. There is always something new to learn,
Right.
and a lot of learning is required. It's not just stick to one channel or two channel and you're through. It's about understanding the brand, understanding how digital is moving, and that combination actually helps in solving for a brand or solving for a digital or problem statement also, any channel problem statement also. So I suggest that more of learning will only come if you read about what is happening in the world and what is happening with respective brands, and whichever inclines and whichever they are inclined to. And secondly, it's more of being vocal about what your thought process is, so that people can correct you if you're wrong or right. And that really helps you again, because digital is all about being vocal, and it really really helps because you're in a very dynamic world, and you can't be laid back or sit aside. Okay, I've learned, I have experience. That is a no in a digital environment, because you have to keep on learning something new. If this is done, okay, next what? That's what made me move ahead. And whenever I felt that no, I'm missing out, I'm feeling bored, if you feel bored, go to your manager and speak. They will somewhere they have something for you. They will ensure that you're never bored. So I think that's the key takeaway.
Great. Friends, what you heard from Divya is a very key requirement, I would say prerequisite to grow at Sokrati. You cannot any day say that I am a master of something. You can never say that I have learned everything, because it is evolving. In fact, this whole environment didn't exist 10 years ago. In this whole concept which we are talking didn't exist 10 years ago. We have a paradigm shift. And the second wave of this paradigm shift happened in this pandemic, where what Divya brought is the various brands who were traditional are now going full gungo about the digital. So, friends, these are the, I would say, key inputs which Divya has brought about, that knock knock. At Sokrati, you have to knock knock. Everybody is smart, everybody is helpful, but nothing will come on platter. Divya, I think fantastic. That was a very key potential thing, because maybe this work from home, remote location is going to continue for at least next couple of weeks. We'll keep our fingers crossed. I know people like you and me who thrive on being with the people are definitely, but the new folks are missing that warmth. They are missing that warm touch at office, walking across to the coffee vending machine or sitting in the auditorium and chatting and everything. So what I want now from to pick your brains about is that going further, what is your perspective on this whole gamut of digital growth? Do you think going to help in the overall nurturing of the individuals and the growth of Sokrati? What is your vision on this roadmap of digital ecosystem as a leader?
Okay, so when it comes to the growth of an individual considering the digital career that they are choosing, I think it becomes very important for them to look, because this whole 1 year was not a phase. It's a game changer for digital marketing specifically, and reason being that a lot of people have, like, they've changed their mindset about a lot of marketing or advertising. Like I mentioned earlier, traditional marketers are moving to digital, who are very pro offline are now somewhat thinking about online or have thought about online. So for an individual who is into digital marketing or is growing, I think there is a pool of learning. You have so many sections into digital. Like, I am still exploring, being into the system for 9 years now, and the reason is that at the role I am playing right now in Sokrati, I'm exploring every day that this is also possible in digital. And the easiest way for an individual is to get into that. Don't stay away. You need to get into that fire mode and understand what is best for you, but best line for you in digital also. So there are multiple lines in digital. I think it's not just purely advertisement, putting ads, beautiful ads with beautiful copies. No, it is more of understanding people, understanding the requirement, and then putting something for that audience. So you get to connect with audience, you get to connect with advertiser, and you get to learn a lot of brands. And especially in Sokrati, you just don't get to learn one brand, you get to learn multiple brands. So it's a huge growth opportunity.
Great, great, fantastic. I think that was quite interesting. And friends, it is a totally, I would say, a whole ocean of opportunity which has opened up. And most of you are in a really, really finer place now, because there are experienced leaders. There are people from ground level who has grown up in the organization, who are there around to guide you, who are around to mentor you. The fact is, you have to reach out. You have to be exploring oriented. You have to be innovative. You have to ideate and share those things. Great. I think, Divya, that was fantastic. Talking to you, getting inputs from you. Any last one or two takeaways for all of us, especially the fresh interns, the fresh laterals, and new coming on board? Any message from you?
Uh, I think my entire conversation was all about interns and and freshers, because I can relate to them a lot. And I think the was one key message is that if you ever feel a little lost, speak to the right person. I think conversation generally helps. Conversation can help you in increasing your knowledge. Conversation can help you in, uh, if you're losing your mind, you can go to the right person and get that sorted. So I think conversation becomes a very important factor. And don't feel that if you've done one thing, you are in the right position. I think there could be a better thing just waiting for you, and a manager is actually waiting for you to ask for it. So go for it.
Great. Great, friends. This was a very interesting conversation with our leader, Divya. This is Manoj here, who has been in conversation with Divya for this series, Heroes of Sokrati. So thanks for watching us, and wish you all the best. Thanks, Divya, for being here and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you so much, Manoj.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.